We're live?
Hello! I'm Kira. No one's here. Okay, no worries. We're just waiting for you guys to get on, but we will start and introduce ourselves. My name's Kira, and this is the lovely Linda.
Good evening.
And we are here today to talk to you about the Cook Expert. We apologise for the rush, but we have been filming all day, and we got a phone call, as you may be aware, from Maria, the lovely Maria yesterday, asking us if we'd like to come and do a little Facebook Live for you guys, and we thought, yes, definitely. And then we sort of forgot about it, and we've been filming all day.
That's why.
And then we were like, oh gosh, what are we going to do for you? So we're going to take you through what we're making for dinner and answer all of your questions, because it's been a bit frantic, but luckily we have the Cook Expert, so we can sort of take you through. So the first thing I think everyone's sort of asking is, where can they see and experience the Cook Expert? And as you may or may not be aware, we are not going to be selling in department stores to begin with, or electrical retail stores. We are, however, looking for places for you guys to come and see and experience the Cook Expert. We think the hands-on experience is the best way to learn and discover, and we want you to learn and discover it from trained personnel. So we're having conversations with high-end kitchen specialists, and we will be at pop-up venues around the summer and beyond. So I think if you join our Cook Expert UK Facebook page, we're going to be at Gadgetry Live.
Yes, that's the next one.
That is the next one, so that's at Blenheim Palace, and that's from the 1st to the 4th of August. Castle Howard, which is up in New York, and then Woking in Tame. But if you join the Facebook group, we keep you guys updated, and then looking at some high-end specialist kitchen stores, likely in September. So if we get started.
Yeah. Good venue, so we're spreading it around, aren't we?
We are.
So shall I talk you through the Cook Expert? People have talked about it, so we've got the 3 colours on display. I said we were filming earlier. Satin, red and black. And they are rather gorgeous. I'm very excited because they look good as well as perform well. I'll talk you through what we're having for supper. So in this one, you can see on the display, the wonderful thing is you can actually prove the bread in these, and in fact I should show you how we make bread. But as soon as you take the lid off, it pauses the program and it will start up again as soon. How good is my dough? Put the lid back on and it carries on. So this will pause it. So lid off, it stops. It reminds you that you need to have the lid on. Lid goes back on, and also one press, and it picks up the program again. It's wonderful. The best thing about the Cook Expert for me is that you're in charge. So in this boy, I've just got the cap on the side. So the cap you can lift off during programs. You can see what you're doing, but the great thing is you can add ingredients. So exactly the same thing. This has been set, and this is another good feature that's worth looking at. Absolutely no stirring. So you can set the program, I'm simmering. Oh, man, we're going to eat well tonight.
We are.
Basque chicken. We'll finish off with a handful of black olives, and that's ready to go. So this is just simmering now. Lots of sliced onion and pepper, completely.
And just to sort of jump in here as well, some of you may or may not be aware, we have the Cook Expert app, which is a completely free app. You can find it on the Google Play Store or the iPhone Store. I have an Android, so and it's completely free, and it's on there, and it's very, very easy to follow. And that's what we're using in cooking tonight. And with the Cook Expert, you also get a 300-page recipe book. At the moment, it's an ebook, so those of you who have pre-ordered, we'll have the ebook, and we'll be sending you guys the newly printed book that is currently in print, which will be end of August, which is very exciting.
Spot on here. And I found the app particularly good. As soon as I got the Cook Expert, it comes with, in the side menu, your first week. Yes. So working through that, it just gives you a rounded view on how to use it. So step by step, and it's only 2 recipes a day, a breakfast and either a lunch or a supper. But it's a really great way to find your way, navigate your way around the screen, which is so intuitive. And I've got a little bit of spillage here, so I just want to show you a trick. Okay. You can use this either with me. I do a lot of baking, so with floury hands, or if you have wet hands, which you have often in the kitchen. It's difficult to navigate touch screens, which is why it's good to use your iPad. However, this is totally waterproof, and I can get the bit of spillage from the side, but I can wipe down, and the buttons down each side are press buttons, so it's completely interactive and intuitive even when it's wet or you've got slippery hands. That is a real bonus if you do enjoy your kitchen and your food and you're in the kitchen a lot preparing. So
And
it's a terrific aid.
Just to jump in, I am trying to monitor what you guys are saying so we can make sure that we're answering any questions that you have. But a lot of people are commenting on your lovely kitchen, Linda.
Oh really?
Yes. So just so you know, we are in Linda's kitchen. So I work down at the head office in Godalming, but Linda has invited us into her kitchen so we can do some filming. So Linda comes from a very, very food background, and you judge, is it the British pie?
I was a judge from the very first of the World Bread Awards, which is always judged down in London, and that's really exciting. Lots of fun. I feel very privileged to be on board with that because bread is where I probably started, but now all round food, and yes, it's for the love of food and passion of food, and devoted to Magimix that I'm here today, and that you're in my kitchen.
Yeah.
We've dragged you along to the other Cook Expert, and I'm going to show you how easy it is to make bread. So you mentioned judging at the World Bread Awards. I also judged at Pie Awards. Probably my number 3 job after being associated with the Cook Expert. Bread, eating all the pies is definitely a good job to have. So judge at Pie Awards, and also cookery schools up and down the country, lots of WI work. So yes, I'm coming from years of academy training. Bread could not be easier. So I've weighed in 250 grams of flour and 150 millilitres of water. I'm going to use the plunger from the food processor. Before I had the Cook Expert, I would say that this is probably, this combo is the kind of kit I would have taken on holiday with me. This has so many uses, but it's great for measuring water, and it has increments just for all the bread recipes. It's like it was designed personally for me, and this is a brilliant bread scraper, but it's the tool that you use for the food processor. Would not be without this.
And just to say, we'll show you guys in a minute that this kit all comes together. So you get your metabol for your cooking on the induction tank, but you also got your food processor for your slicing, grating. I hear that a few of you are quite happy that it grates. So yes, it does grate, and everything else. But we'll take you through the bread first and then show you.
Absolutely. In fact, we can besides going through it, we'll actually do some demonstrating as well. And that's what makes this brilliant, because it really is an all-in-one. You can get away with having no knife skills if you can do the grating and the slicing, as kind of Kira's just said. So this is a grand chance for me to show you how the lovely digital screen works. You have the programs and you just work through baking, and okay. So you have the option to do pastry. The pastry program is absolutely fabulous. I've used it, and you truly put everything in, press the button, one button, and it makes awesome pastry. I wish I had time to show you all these things. I'm getting a bit excited.
I just had one question I just seen
Yeah.
that says, is 200 grams flour max amount for that bread making?
No, I'm using 250 for this recipe, but the maximum amount is 500 grams of flour, because you've got the extra volume and weight of water and any added ingredients. So don't go beyond 500 grams. But that's good enough. I'll show you how what happens. Anyway, it's bread baking, so automatic. Once the programs, you choose the one you want.
And if you guys listen how quiet it is as well, that's one of the beautiful features that you don't have to. We just let you enjoy the quietness.
But also see how effective it is. It's this blender mix on the inside of the bowl in conjunction with the universal blade. See how it's mixing the dough? It's working at 5, and something else happens in a moment. But this whole program is one button, and it does it all for you, and it's the best bread mixer I've come across. And I'm saying that hand on heart, and I've used hundreds of appliances. Something went beep there. This Cook Expert has now finished. It just makes one beep. So if you're in the kitchen, you know it's finished, but it's got a double wall. The bowl is metal, double wall, and it keeps the food hot for 2 hours. Fabulous. So I'll just let you have a little look in there, peep in there, and then we'll go back to the bread. Brilliant. So this is made supper. There are 8 pieces of chicken in this. That's to feed 4 very hungry people. Coming back, the bread has paused. So it beeped and it's now flashing. And at this stage, you can remove the cap so we can see what's going on through the glass lid. Massive bonus. Love that. Then the cap can take off, and I would add oil seeds, sun-dried tomatoes, whatever you fancy putting in there. That's when you would add it now. Lid back on.
But you can also take off the lid and put it through there.
And auto. So it just paused for you to do that. It has picked up a bit now, and it's on 9. So this is dynamic kneading, and it's working it better than, frankly, I would. That's a colour.
Cool! That's but you're working the machine, so
absolutely, yeah. And if I just do a little bit of dancing on the side, burn up the calories so I can still eat bread. Absolutely. So this is, I just love this bread program. And now that I've discovered the pastry program as well, I actually love pastry.
We were talking when I came up here that you hadn't actually used the pastry program yet.
No, I used it yesterday for the first time, and I was doing a WI talk in the evening, and I did 8 tarts. The talk was the joy of tarts, and I have to say I was a very joyful tart that night.
I love though that you did it. You went into the WI talk, and I know it sounds a bit silly, but you went in, you hadn't practiced it beforehand, you were just like, well, I'm going to trust it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've used it enough to appreciate already that everything it does has been well thought out. I think it's a cracking design, and so.
And we gave
I wasn't too unsure that it wouldn't pull out all the stops and do a grand piece of pastry.
And be honest, so you've been using it now since May.
Yep.
How many times a day do you use it?
Several. Yeah. I mean, today has been exceptional.
Okay, on a typical day, when it's just you and Jeff?
Yeah, several.
Yeah.
Several, because I would do my breakfast in it. I might make a batch of bread. It rinses itself. Get out of town.
It's my favourite. I'm just like, yes. Thank you.
And which is awesome. Are there some questions? People talking to us?
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Well, I shall get the bread out while Kira looks at the question. Look at this. Absolutely super. And it all comes away. Oh, did you notice I put my hands in here? It's a universal blade, and because of the blender mix and the dynamic kneading, you can put your hands in because these blades aren't sharp. It's all to do with the combined effort of the Magimix blender mix and the universal blade and the speed. That's what gives you all the different results, whereas the food processor, that has the razor sharp blade. So I'll show you how good that is at the moment.
And while you're just doing that, just to answer some of your questions, in terms of advantage to buy the XXL dough blade, realistically, we found that if you're making donuts, it's quite good because it helps the stickier doughs, and in terms of just creating a slightly bigger volume, but realistically, not unless you're going to be using donuts. And it's a fantastic tool.
Yeah, I think it's a personal choice thing, but it's not at all necessary.
No.
3 weeks ago, I was working at Denman, WI College, and we did Danish pastry, brioche, and croissants, and we did it without the dough blade. So we did it just with a regular blade. Oh, and here's a hot tip that if you are keen and you've got the extra dough blade and you're a bit of a breadhead, you can make your laminated dough by chilling or even freezing your butter, then slicing it in your food processor, because that's how darn good that disc is. Slice it in your food processor and you layer it on. In the fullness of time, we're going to get some recipe videos together, aren't we?
Yes, we are. Yes,
so you will see us again. It'll be a little bit down the line when we get ourselves sorted out.
Maybe not me. I mean, I don't think.
I don't know. I think we're
I was
liking this.
going to say we're working quite well. You'll see us at the show, so I'll be around.
Dynamic mix.
Way.
But we can show you some of those recipes if you show interest and if you request it. But yeah, there isn't anything that I don't use this kit for. it's the food processor that I could never live without. So the fact that it's been joined up with a Cook Expert, marriage made in heaven. So this is the dough. I'm fondling, but how gorgeous is that? Let me just cut it down the centre. So I know people that like bread, they're going to appreciate. I mean, how wonderful is that?
And that's completely simple.
Okay, so this is 250 grams of flour, and that would give you 1 garlic flatbread. 500 grams of flour is going to give you the 2. In the end here, we just go back down here. This is our Norwegian mountain loaf with lots of seeds in, and this was 500 grams of flour. Okay.
And then just answer to a couple more questions. Sorry guys, to keep putting it. But so in terms of the beep, yeah, it only beeps once to tell you it's done, and then it won't start playing annoying tunes or anything like that. It'll just tell you it's done once, and then you can come back to it. And
is that where I think I lost track? Did I mention that the double wall keeps the food hot for 2 hours? So if it beeps and you're out in the garden and you don't hear it, it doesn't matter because you come back and it's still hot.
Completely. And also it's great because of the double wall. Not only does it keep maintaining the temperature throughout when it's cooking, but you can touch it. And this is incredibly well, it's been cooking, and I can touch it with both hands. And
Just say,
I'm not a chef, so I don't have asbestos hands.
So we did find in working with some families that it was really good for families because of that safety feature and the way that you can use the screen. It's so easy for children, so it's a great way to introduce them to food in the kitchen.
Yeah. And also in terms of when you wash and dry the bowl, can you use it straight away? Yes, you can. It's not going to be... I'm slightly concerned by i.e. not waiting for pins to dry in case they short circuit. I'm concerned by that, but I don't know. I think
I don't know what that's about.
So
this is the inside of the bowl, and you can see it's got a flat base, so you can actually do stir fry, and there are programs, or you can use the Cook Expert where there's no stirring of the blade.
And if we show them the bottom of the base, completely safe. You've got the conductivity. And it fits beautifully here, and there's nothing coming out of here either.
This is the showcase. We haven't actually said what this is.
Yes.
It doesn't matter about anything being dry. I just have to polish that because I love it so much. It's the induction hob.
Yes.
Yes. Fantastic. Sorry, Kira's trying to read your questions.
Sorry.
And I'm looking for a great big smile because this is what it's all about. So and I sprayed earlier. All of this is waterproof. So as soon as this has a dry bottom, and you don't have to wait for it to dry. It can be on it goes on at the left to centre. Anyone who's had a Magimix food processor knows that everything goes on left, click into centre.
And I'm sure we'll get onto this, but it is completely safe when you use the food processor part of it as well, because you have this beautiful collar. So those of you who are familiar with Magimix will know that it's the 5200XL, so it's just our biggest food processor model out there, and it has a wonderful collar that it just sits on, goes straight down to a direct shaft, so our 30-year motor, so it's the same food processor, our heart and soul motor that's in there, but it clips on nicely and it will ensure that it will never turn on the induction, the heating when you're using it. So,
we really have thought of it. Let's use it. So I whizzed to a chopping board.
Would you like me to get this chopped? So while Linda's just sorting out the pepper, everything else that comes with the Cook Expert, apart from the metal bowl, you've got your Cook Expert recipe book. So it's 300 recipes all the way. So I'm sure you'll see it, but we have some beautiful recipes to get you started. We have digital scale, so you can be weighing directly into the bowl on there. We've got your food processor bowls, which we will show you momentarily. We've got this beautiful steamer. So this steamer is something that I love and use quite often because I'm a big fan of fish. But it has, it's all stainless steel, so you're not steaming in anything other than that. It fits perfectly into the metal bowl. And then we have a shelf, so you can steam on 2 layers. So if you're doing some veg and some fish, you can do them at the same time. We've also got these beautiful stainless steel Tabasco blades. So we're about to show you that in a moment on the food processor part of the Cook Expert. But you've got your 4mm and 2mm slicing and grating discs that come as standard. So we'll be showing you that as well. And then it all comes in this beautiful little box, so it's not going to take up too much space on the shelf. Everything we've tried to get as compact as possible, but whilst giving you everything that you need. So whilst it's sitting on the side on your counter, you can store your steamer basket perfectly in it. If you want to use your whisk, which I haven't talked about, you can pop it on top and it's all nicely stowed away. The whisk goes up to 110 degrees Celsius, so if you want to be making Italian or Swiss meringues, you can do, or if you're just doing regular meringues or wanting to make butter, you can make that as well, and it comes straight onto the side, but we'll show you that also in a moment. Are we ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Perfect.
Okay, I'm going to stop. It comes with 3 bowls, and the mini bowl, not to worry. It comes with the mini bowl, which is great for small quantities. So I'm just going to start off and show you. We've got some bread dough, so what I could do is some Syrian flatbreads using coriander, onion and some spicing. I'm just going to pop the onions in. So this was all short notice, and this is basically what we have in the store cupboard. So for Syrian bread, I'm very partial to coriander, but we're going to flavour it with garlic, cumin and coriander, just a pinch of chilli, salt and pepper. Brilliant. So that goes in. It's all going to be chopped up. Lid on. The famous plunger goes in.
And I was going to just show you.
Yes, let's.
So at the moment, you can just see that it's sitting on baking. As soon as you pop it across,
This is another one of the locks.
it will switch the food processor, which is great because it knows and it's intelligent enough to know what is on. And it will never let you go into any of the other programs or turn on the temperature, which is fantastic.
Again, they've thought of everything, haven't they? So in no time at all. That's why I love this. It's so efficient already. That's been chopped. I'm going to add the coriander. Oh, this is smelling so good.
I know.
I'm
This
very
is what we
hungry.
need to do. I know. Unfortunately, we actually haven't eaten since I think 11, which isn't that bad. But because we've been around so much food today, I think we're starting to go a bit hungry.
That's why I'm a little bit edgy.
Yeah, I think
overexcited, zesty. So please,
Fortunately,
let's
it's
give
exactly
it a
what
go.
we're having for dinner.
So I can't tell you how good this smells. You're just going to have to take my word for it. But I'm going to pour this into a little round of bread. I'll show you if we've got time, and then I bake it. This was done with garlic butter.
This is what we thought we could sneakily have before we started the Facebook Live. But
I will add this to the flatbreads and show you. This bread can also be used for naan breads. The dough, it's a very simple recipe, but because it's kneaded so well, it aerates nicely, so you can use it for any kind of recipe. So that's a Syrian bread mix that you bake on the bread, and if any of you naughty people out there ever drink too much alcohol, if you fry an egg and sit an egg on top of that, it's probably the world's best hangover cure.
I thought you were talking about egg on the alcohol. I was like,
no.
Drink a fried
Next
egg
day,
on an alcohol.
next day, a fried egg on this Syrian bread is just truly awesome.
And just to confirm, Ria, I think, has just asked if you can shop in the metaphor. Yes, you can. There are 18 speeds, and at the beginning, speed 0 does nothing, and then you have 1 to 7, which is just stirring, and then from 7 to 18 you can chop. So you can finely dice an onion in your metaphor as well. So if you're going to be doing any soup or anything like that, you can do that. And I'm not quite sure where Linda said she would go, so I will just continue. I can start. Do you want me to start slicing and grating? Oh, you've got it. Perfect.
So, I've used the midi bowl here because it means it leaves the extra large bowl clean. So you can use all 3 bowls, and you can just go rock through multitasks, and you only wash once. So again, that's another good reason. So I'll do a bit of fruit first, actually, then I'll tip that out and show you how it slices vegetables. Can you believe that it would slice an orange for you and a banana? So If you're doing any desserts or you want to do some fancy cake or tart decorating, it's brilliant.
Or some great banana chips I did the other day. Just for running, oh, they're amazing. You just 2mm, create the banana. I put some cinnamon on them because I quite like cinnamon. And I put them in the oven and then I have them on the run and just eat.
Fantastic.
Rather than gels.
That is a nice idea.
It's good,
yeah.
it's good.
Gels are so bad for you. There's so many things you could make in the Cook Expert that are good.
Yeah, I know. I've been trying to make my own little fueling. We can talk about this later. Sorry.
There is somebody I met at the Rutland Food Festival who makes gin, and she does her own dried fruit, similar way that you do with your banana chips, and she slices her oranges and lemons, limes and grapefruit. This is a whole medium orange, so it's going into the large shoot. She would love this. So if you're watching, I don't mention any names, but it is a very good orange gin that she produces, and this is for you. I'm just going to pulse it. Brilliant. And with the banana. I love the smell of orange. Okay. So that's how well it slices a banana. When I allowed the orange to slip over to the side, so you're not going to see how well the orange is sliced. So I'm just going to show you this one. Oh, is there a good one there? Because I've got photographs of the last one. Because I'm not concentrating, I let it slip over, but if you keep it on its end, it will slice so you've got the perfect segments. And same with the banana, you can get little round discs. So depending on how you put it through the food processor, you're going to get perfect rounds, or you can slice it long. Oh, there we go. They are very neat.
They are, yeah.
Yeah. So let me show you with the fruit.
And in terms of, someone's just asked about the method of crushing ice or milk fine enough for flour.
Now, I did actually experiment that, yes. Not in the food processor, but in the Cook Expert.
In the vessel.
Yeah, I put it in the Cook Expert and I ran it a minute at a time on 18. And yes, in 3 minutes it was milled. I made some bread again. I've made some photographs of that that we could post on Facebook. Yeah. Do you want to say where
so
people
we
could
have
go to find that?
we also have a Facebook group. It's called Cook Expert UK. I think a few people are already members on it, but please come and join. A lot of people have already purchased a Cook Expert who are on there, so you can talk to them. So Cook Expert owners, but also everyone else, and join and ask questions and just be open and share, exactly like Maria's Facebook group here. We all love cooking, we love creating things. So, but it's specifically for the Cook Expert and not other gadgetries. Someone else has just asked that they're going to be moving to a small flat, and how much space will all the bits take up in the cupboard or shelf?
Good question, and it's perfect if you have limited space. So you can see here the how much space a Cook Expert takes up. It's about a sheet of A4 paper.
Yeah, A4 paper.
And then these are the discs, so they can sit on a shelf along with the food processor jug, or I've actually got a drawer that I put mine in here, and all the accessories fit in one drawer.
And the steamer fits perfectly. We can show you a bit, but the steamer fits perfectly inside the bit.
So this is the quality of the ingredients. Everything, all the accessories are really high quality. These are stainless steel. So I use mine for prepping food as I chop or as I prepare stuff. I can collect from the fridge in here, and I can put the waste in here. This is very exciting because did you know, I've only just learnt myself, these little the eggs,
yeah, I was about to say, I didn't know if you knew. Yes, the eggs.
You can sit eggs in here. So
That's
you can
good.
really show off. You can make homemade bread, you can boil eggs, steam things. You can do it, pull everything. And I can now do boiled eggs, soft boiled eggs, and hollandaise sauce in here.
At the same time.
Loads of homemade bread, and do a show off breakfast or brunch. Really good. It's got a silicone handle, so when you pull it out, it will hold a medium-sized chicken. So I joint up the chicken, and it will go partly in here, partly on the top. And if it's hot, oh, marvellous, thank you very much. You can use the handle of the spatula. So again, talking of Magimix having thought of everything, not only do they have the classic, whereas the classic spatula, the kit comes with this one too. Got this kind of groovy little shape to go around the hips. It's got the flat base, but then this goes round and catches along the bottom, can you see? But then also, hey presto, you can actually get it to the side. And because they're not sharp blades, they don't nick the corners or the edges at all.
So also when you're trying to do a really deep clean.
Oh, good thing.
So you can take everything off from the bottom. So this, if you've been doing crushed ice and making some frozen desserts in your Cook Expert, you can, and it's too cold and it gets stiff, you can easily unlock it. So you just literally unlock, super simple. I'm doing it one-handed. So it comes out completely. And then you can just wash that beautifully, take everything around the side, get all the dough out, or if you're maybe you've done some raw eggs and you wanted to give it a deep clean, you can put it in the dishwasher. Just remove this and pop it in. I mean, you can put these in the dishwasher too, but every so often you might want to just oil it up again just to make sure the seal is nice and tight. But yeah.
Good tip.
Yeah.
That's a good tip.
I find it easy if you do that, but I'll quickly put this up. Well, it's very, very easy. You do it exactly the same way, but this is why.
When that comes on, this will show you the universal blade. It's got two little ears, so it's very easy to handle. Your hands aren't going to slip out, but it clips on to the universal blade, so it's going nowhere. So you can pour. This has got two handles or a pouring spout, and that's not going to come out, which is awesome. And it's got very rakish design. Works very nicely.
It works very well. I did see a comment, but I won't. It doesn't break apart, as someone said. Another brands did. I don't know about this, but don't worry. It's 110 degrees.
Yeah, up to 110 degrees, so you can do hot meringues. Awesome.
Yes.
Might be worth mentioning the guarantee on this too, then.
Oh yes, so it's a 30-year motor guarantee, so the same as the Magimix standard, and we have a 3-year parts and warranty guarantee as well.
So
you're
why would you give those warranties unless you have total faith in your equipment? That's I find really reassuring. Okay, so we'll carry on. We could do this all night.
I know, I'm slightly concerned that we've been going for half an hour, and I'm slightly concerned that we might start boring people.
Yeah, I'm going to... Can I slice my courgette before we go?
Yes, you can, yes.
Food processor. Okay. I'm going to run this now and just show you how sharp the blade is. So by just letting them fall in, it's so sharp it catches even bouncy skins on peppers. And I didn't do that with much care and attention, so that wasn't a great demonstration.
But that's for us to eat, and whereas when you're at a dinner party, you just make sure that you keep the the pusher, all the way down the food processor, and then it's perfectly done. Oh, there we go. We done it. Oh, see, you can put it tomato
sauce. And it's not that it's burnt, it's just that your lighting isn't correct. So all of you people out there, if you're watching us, go and turn your lights on. This tastes lots better than my cooking.
It is your cooking.
But isn't that beautiful slicing?
Oh, completely. No, but that's because but this is exactly what we've been trying to do, and realistically, from someone who has all the experience that you do in terms of the world of cooking, you know. You still have the creativity that you want, whereas for someone like me who sort of sometimes cooking is a bit of a convenience, sometimes I get really into it, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm not the expert, I was never trained, and this is just so nice because each of the automatic programs that we've designed, you can tweak things a little bit, but we've perfected them so that it will keep it always so that it's perfect in the automatic program. So if you want to do a bread or a soup, it will always make sure that it's going to get it right for you.
Yes.
And whilst you can tweak it, will always get it right. Yeah. Which is perfect. And that's where the expert comes in, so you don't have to be a cook.
Quite right. If you stick to the recipe, there are put it in or chuck it in recipes, one button press, the cream soup, things like risotto and stews, simmering programs. It can simmer for up to 4 hours. So it's great. So if you are on a training day and you're running,
Yes.
you can come back and before you take your shower, you load it up, press, it would be the Cook Expert, press cream soap, go upstairs, you come down, you're eating something healthy.
Oh, and to be fair, and it's completely honest, it's made me a better cook.
Yeah.
And it gives me the confidence to be like, okay, I can do this, or I can leave it, and I can go off and come back, and that's just not, it's not just me saying that, it's in all seriousness. I've learned a lot, even just from the recipes, and now I'm playing with things, and I found other recipes online, and I've started converting them. My mum was super proud of me. We made her cherry compote. She was like, of all my daughters, you were not the one who I thought was. I was like, I'm so good now. It's all good.
It
Fair
does,
enough.
yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, what else are we showing?
So I think you've highlighted it there.
Yeah.
It helps, but it doesn't steal your creativity and it doesn't numb your brain. So you can follow a recipe, you can have a creative day, or you can blindly press a button. I mean, yeah, it covers all bases. Have we got any questions?
I've just looked at a few of them. Some of them are making me smile. We've got I need not to want. Oh no, you need.
Life's too short not to need one.
That's true.
And if it's price that's worrying you, the Australians have already done cookbooks and found that it pays for itself. If you use it as much as I do, several times a day, it's going to pay for itself in 3 months.
It is good, yeah.
It saves you so much because you use up everything.
And realistically, if you're a little bit more like me, who uses it sort of maybe for dinners and occasionally for breakfast or smoothies, probably 6 months.
Yeah, so still within 6 months.
In terms of the type of getting other ingredients and sorting itself out. So in terms of the price as well, it's £1,195, including VAT and delivery. 30-year warranty.
Have we shown everyone what comes with that?
Yes, yeah, but we can take them through again. So you've got all the things to make it a food processor where you can slice, grate, chop, puree. You've got your steamer, your steaming basket, you've got your whisk, you've got your digital scales, you've got your 2 spatulas, one of which you can walk about. You've got your 300-page recipe book. And just to say as well, the app that we have, which is called the Cook Expert app, completely 100% free, and it has Magimix recipes, and we are updating it constantly and adding, and I say constantly, it's probably adding a couple every month, but we also have consumer recipes, so if you fancy adding your own recipe to it, you can add it. We will moderate it just to make sure that it makes sense, and there's no bad language every so often putting it in there, but we'll accept it. But all the recipes that Magimix put up, we try and test, and everything the consumer, you guys put up, it's just highlighted as consumer, which means that Magimix hasn't tested it, but someone else has, and you can rate and you can review them and you can comment on them. And the app itself, I don't know if it's going to actually work, but if you guys download it, you also have a shopping list that's on it. You can make notes on your own recipes, so and the recipes on the app. So if you suddenly realise that you don't want to do a particular ingredient or anything, you can just tweak it yourself, and then it's unique to your account as well. So that's a great win. And then if you're like me and you forget an ingredient, you can quickly send the ingredient list to, or send the recipe to someone else to go pick it up for you when out on the store cutting home. But yes.
I like that idea.
Oh, I do all the time. I'm like, can you please go get this for me? Alright, I run off.
These are the Syrian flatbreads I was talking about. And great way to do this, even if you're doing pizzas. Using a spoon, you can spoon out the mixture. So if it was the tomato sauce for the pizza, you would just use the back of the spoon to shape. I'm going to flatten that down. Now I haven't got anything on the work surface, so what's going to be really challenging is lifting that off and putting it onto a baking sheet. But I've got every faith in my Magimix spatula. I'm just going to come this side because that's the side I paper. Ooh, aren't I glad that I cleaned my baking sheets?
Right? But looking at your kitchen, I'm pretty sure that it's all always clean.
There you go. So, beautiful aid to bread making. And what would be really good is just oil the crust.
Definitely going to go for a run later.
Yes. I'll pop those in, and they will take 15, 18 minutes. These sliced vegetables, I'd probably serve them with some grilled halloumi and a spicy tomato sauce, or easily you could have tahini and yogurt.
Yeah.
Go down the Mediterranean route. Any other questions?
I've just seen a couple other people. So someone's asked, does it have internal scales? The answer is no. We chose not to make internal scales because the danger of having something, having scales inside the machine is that you're constantly putting pressure on it when it's using things. So you've got nothing. Scales are so delicate because you need to make sure that you get gram by gram exactly what you're measuring, and therefore we've chosen that the best thing really is to have external scales. It's really useful. You can pop your Magimix bowl, the Cook Expert bowl on it, and then reset. Oh, I've turned it off. Held it down too long, and then you can start adding ingredients in, and it will go up gram by gram. So I don't know if it'll be light enough, but yeah, you can slowly see it going up. But we've chosen not to have it inbuilt into the machine.
The joy is it goes up to 10 kilograms as well.
Exactly.
So and even when this is cooking, once you've weighed everything in and this is cooking, you can still carry on using the scales and preparing for other things.
And you're not risking it being wrong. So after a few times of weighing in something that's constantly being used, you'll start to danger the scales and they'll start measuring wrong.
They do compromise, yeah. And also, if the appliance is dragged across the work surface. The other thing is if you do a lot of pureeing, making soup, bread, smoothies, there is some movement, and it will work itself on the work surface. That would put pressure and vibration through the feet where the scales are. So that's another reason.
But one thing to show as well is because I'll just quickly show them. The motor. It's a shame, you guys, if anyone is going to want to see it in person, especially this summer, please do come to the shows and you can have a touch and a feel. But in terms of the feet, it has these beautiful feet that will help it keep staying solid, and the reason why it's so solid is due to the motor. So it won't, if you try and push it, it's not going to push along the surface, which is great. You saw it making the dough earlier.
So even when it vibrates, there's no movement, it doesn't walk along the counter, which again is really good because of the locks and the secure lid. You can walk away from it while it's pureeing soup or while it's making bread, whereas I don't know of another appliance you can do that. They will wobble and eventually kind of vibrate along the counter, but not the Magimix.
Can we run through all the programs?
Yes. Yeah,
good idea. Let's pop this on.
I'll plug it back in.
Perfect. So the digital screen acts as a carousel, so you can never go wrong. You can just keep going until you find it again. So if we just start, you've got your beautiful auto clean. I won't make it start, but you've got your OK. You can change the time if you want to do a little bit longer, up to a minute. This just means that you should not put the whisk in when you're auto cleaning because the speed is incredibly high. And you can also make sure that you're getting something quite nice and hot if you want to go up to 60 degrees, or you can bring the temperature back down. So that's your auto clean, and then you press auto. We'll do an auto clean at the end actually. I think that'll be quite nice to see.
Yeah.
Then you've got your expert program, and so this is if you want to fine tune. So you can change the time all the way down to no time at all, but then all the way up to 4 hours as we said earlier. But I'll just show you that going up slightly, but it continues. So you can have it so that it's on 0 speed. So if you're doing anything that you want to just make sure that it's there, then you've got 1A, which means it will go round and then it will stop, and then it will go again and then it will stop, and then you can go 2A. So all the way up to 7 is where you're starting to get the mixing and combining of your ingredients, and then as you start going up, it will go into more of a chopping. So you'll start chopping meat around these areas to 14, and then when you go all the way up to 18, that's when you're dicing completely. So you've completely diced the onion. Then you've got your temperature, so from 0, 30, 31 is where you want to be proving your bread at, and that's where you'd have the 0 speed as well. And then you can go all the way up, all the way up, all the way up to 140 degrees. Then you've got your cooking, and again we've got a carousel that takes you through. I'm sorry I've taken your thing. But so we've got your cream soup program, pureed soup program, simmering, stir fry, steamer, and then it keeps going round. And then when you go into the programs, you can start adjusting if you want to steam for a little bit longer, or maybe you want to change the temperature slightly. There is parameters around this because we make sure that it's exactly what you need. And again, you can go onto the expert programs if you want to be making anything slightly differently. You've got your blender, so if you want to do a smoothie, which Linda, I know you're quite fond of.
Yes.
Yes. You've got your crushed ice, so I made some snow
Can I
cones earlier.
mention? Oh, did you?
Oh,
Yes.
so good.
Yes.
It was so
and
hot.
the weather's like this. I've used it for making homemade frappuccinos. Oh, fantastic.
Perfect.
But also the crushed ice program I discovered was brilliant for checking in Parmesan.
Oh, really?
We could demonstrate that if you like.
Oh, we should. Yeah, we
I'll
go
tell you
through
what.
the things and then you get everything off.
Yeah.
The crushed ice, one that I just watch is whether you go from the ice blocks to the little things to the snow cones, which was quite delicious. And then afterwards, the bowl itself becomes very cold because you've got that stainless steel conductivity, and then you can start making some frozen desserts, which is always quite nice, especially in this time of year. When we've got your baking programs, you've got your pastry and cake, your bread and brioche, and your beaten egg whites. And then we've got your food processor. It won't let you start playing anything in there because it's not the food processor. Then you start getting your settings, so you can change it. You can go in standby mode. You can change the sound in terms of the volume of what you want it to when it makes the beep. You've got your accessories. So I know a couple of you have been asking about accessories, so I'll answer those questions momentarily. Your child resistant, so if you've got kids at home and you want to make sure that they're not going to be turning anything on, you can go in and turn it on, and it basically means that they can play with the buttons and it's absolutely fine, but they cannot turn on the temperature, they cannot make any of the blades work, so that's fantastic if you've got children or nieces or nephews or anyone running around that you don't want it to go on. Hot mix mode, that's when you're creating soups, and at first it will blend all the ingredients together and then it will raise the temperature maybe after 40 minutes. Then it will ask you to actively engage to reblend the ingredients, because it's as if you've taken it from the hob and then you're putting it onto the blender. And so it makes sure 9 times out of 10 I wouldn't put it on, but say if I have a dog or kids around, I will put it on and make sure that it...
Right.
So I actively have to engage, and it will just remind me that yes, it's time to blend, and it will tell you that. User manual, it will take you to the QR code, so if you've lost your user manual, you can find it for you online. If you want to change the menu order, you can do. Languages, if you want to change the language. If you work in Fahrenheit or Celsius...
Come on, people, get with the program. Celsius, please.
Yes, meter, it shows you what you've been using.
I
This is
think that's
Linda's favourite.
lovely. Yeah. Just how busy have I been?
Yeah, 19 hours.
I've been motoring for 19 hours.
Completely. Demo mode, that's just for install. It will just slowly carousel through all the programs. I wouldn't expect anyone at home to be using that. Recipes, again, if you want to find quickly our recipes online. If you've got an Apple phone, just take it here, scan it, and it will take you across. Every camera, I don't know if you knew this, Linda, has a QR code built into it nowadays.
I only recently found that out,
Yes.
but I'm learning something every day, and I'm learning something about the food expert every day as well.
We'll almost be going on for an hour. I'm really sorry, guys. So should we do your Parmesan on the crushed ice, which I didn't even know existed?
Yeah. Where did I deposit the cap?
Oh, I was playing with it. So
yes.
Unlocking the thing. Sorry,
Lovely. So you can throw it in, and this will demonstrate a few things. I'm going to keep the rind. Do you know? Well, it would actually grate the rind for me as well, but I put these in casseroles to flavour, and then you can just lift them out. So nothing is wasted.
No. And that's what's
Okay. So we're using the blender program. Okay. And yes, I do love my smoothies. Crushed ice. So I've discovered that it will crumble chocolate because there's not a good way to grate chocolate. You can chop it, but if you put it through a food processor, the friction, or you try to grate it, the friction makes it kind of crawl up your hand and melt, and it gets very static. But in here, it will chop it up for you, no problem. But also Parmesan. So here we go. You can see even when it's loud, because it's powerful, it's doing the job. This isn't moving at all. believe this is a great demonstration of slowing and firing up any other appliance that at this stage be moving around a lot. This is so stable. And I'm going to stop it there because it's done. So you can leave it to be finer if you like, but fabulous. So hard cheeses,
Could you do
even
chocolate?
yeah, chocolate. So you can.
Because I sometimes grate chocolate, or I put a pomegranate disc as well to use in the food processor. But now I'm like, ooh.
I don't think you actually need an extra disc.
No, you don't.
There isn't anything I've found it won't do. So if you have a very rich and very wet dough, you do have to stop and scrape it down just to make sure it gets all of it. But I did video doing a brioche with 6 eggs, and it handled it fine. So I haven't found anything it doesn't do yet. I'm still looking.
But then you can tell me.
I would, yeah. There would be a way. I've got this faith now. I've used it enough to have this faith that if I haven't worked it out, then you and the Magimix boffins would tell me. So that's a great thing. So we just recap on where you can get support for learning.
Yes. So,
Besides us.
Yes. Well, that's the thing, and it's great because we only met a couple of months ago as well. So this is great. So in terms of you guys have any other questions, the best thing to do is to email cookexpert@magimix.co.uk, and you'll get myself, Linda, at the end of the email. And the other place to go is the Facebook group. I think Maria has already put it in the chain, so thank you very much. But it's called Cook Expert UK, and please join it. It's got some of us in it, and it's also, more importantly, got some of you guys in it. So people who have bought the Cook Expert already, they've already started sharing, and I love it every time I see it. And I'm always afraid to put anything myself because I'm constantly making things, and I'm like, oh, they're gonna know. They're gonna say, no, we don't want to see it from you. So that's fine. But it's really nice for me to see it. And
They can ask there, can't they?
It's true. Yeah,
you might just add more. But I'm going to jump in and start contributing too. So if you've got any questions, that's another place you could find me, and I'll start putting some of my my short videos and recipes online. But if you've got any questions, you could get hold of me through there. And hopefully in the future we might do some more sessions like this, and you'd find out about that on Facebook.
Give us an excuse to see each other. I mean, maybe they don't want me on it, but we constantly show you.
They should come and see us at the shows again. So quick recap, we're at Country File very soon.
Yes, so that's Blenheim, 1st to the 4th of August.
Bingo.
So Thursday through Sunday.
Yeah, if you get the chance, please, and make yourself known to us. If you've seen this and you come and
we'll
come to one of those shows, please come and make yourself known. You can get the Linda and the Kira handshake.
Yes. I mean,
working, when were you working? Where they're
15th to 18th of August, Thursday to Friday to Sunday.
Oh, that's Birmingham. Castle Howard?
Castle Howard. Oh, sorry, that was Castle Howard, sorry.
Then working, which is...
The 30th of August to the 1st of September.
Brilliant.
That'll be a much smaller show, but it will be as exciting and as fun. Then we've got Tame Food Festival, which is the 29th to 30th of September. And truthfully, guys, where and when speak. We're hungry. We're hungry.
Please.
So wherever we're going to be and wherever you're going to see the Cook Expert, we'll let you know. And the first place we'll let you guys know is the Cook Expert UK Facebook group. And we'll pop in when and where we're going to be. And as we said earlier, we are discussing a few high-end specialist kitchen stores.
But you don't
likely from September,
but
so that you understand and you can get the full Cook Expert.
Absolutely, because to buy this and unbox it and start from scratch, I think you would be doing the Magimix a disservice. The Cook Expert is great, but I'm still learning every day. So use all the support that's in place. Yeah.
And I've just seen another couple of questions before we go.
Okay.
So please ask just before we leave and let you guys have your evenings back, and I'm sure you'll be thankful for this. But in terms of, I think Pip said hers goes up to 160. Yes, it does. I accidentally was on the wrong program for doing that. It's because we've been filming, and you've asking what we've been filming, and I think we can say we've been filming the unboxing video to let you guys all know what's coming in. But this is better than the unboxing video.
It's on the back of that, and it's that with knobs on.
Exactly.
See, I forgot what I was going to say. No. It was program parameters for safety. I think you mentioned that earlier. That's right, yeah, unboxing. We've been filming unboxing, and that's because everything is so new. Yeah. So this is a great chance for us to tell you about it, so thank you very much. And
likewise, if you have any questions, please don't be afraid to ask. I know a lot of you out there already have, or not a lot of you, not enough of you, but some of you have the Cook Expert already, and you've already been answering them, so that's great, thank you, because multitasking and hunger is not always the best situation, but I appreciate your patience, guys. And yeah, please email Cook Expert Magimix UK, join the group, ask the questions, come see us at the shows, just because we like talking to people. And like
download the app.
Download the app
so we get some more feedback from that. That would be good.
It is available on Android. I saw someone ask because I only showed the Apple, but yes, it is available on Android. We are in the process this week and next week putting them onto our website as well. So it's all go. And thank you guys for being the first to see a pseudo live demonstration. So yes, woo!
Over and good night. Yes, please, can we eat?
Yes.